Hello, welcome to Abdow Avenue, and today we are going to be talking about the 10th studio album from DJ Khaled, Grateful. Now, I, like many other people my age, kind of grew up with DJ Khaled. I know I remember songs like All I Do Is Win and I'm So Hood, and the list kind of goes on, and he kind of always assembles these big ensembles of rappers, and while he kind of had faded into irrelevancy, I still had some nostalgia for him. And I was actually kind of happy when, in 2015, he kind of resurfaced through Snapchat and kind of became a meme. And it actually made him really marketable, and now a lot of people are going to work with him again. And I mean, I'm so happy for the guy. He just seems like such a fun dude that I can't say that I am upset that his music's becoming popular. And, you know, DJ Khaled's personality has always shined a little in his music, even if he's not always the primary writer, and sometimes not even the producer for his stuff. Well, his 2016 album, Major Key, had some major problems. It was much better than it had any right to be. It had some really great songs, some solid bangers on it. Just look at a song like Holy Key. That song was way better than it had any right to be. And even songs like I Got the Keys with Jay-Z and Future, that I thought they were just totally fine. They were fun, and the Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, that whole ensemble, Do You Mind? I like that song. There are some great singles off of this album. And leading up to Grateful, I mean, I don't have the highest expectations for DJ Khaled, but, you know, I was just hoping for a fun time. And then I looked and I saw that this thing is 87 minutes long, and, ooh. Yeah, this is obviously not the kind of thing that DJ Khaled created and inspected it to be this grand vision or anything. It's just a bunch of songs just kind of thrown onto an album, and it's kind of just starts out with the pop songs and just kind of goes down and down until you kind of get more of the grittier bangers, I guess. The stuff that don't have as much crossover appeal. And I gotta be honest, I mean, it's just too much. I think this album in some ways is really fun. It's a great summer album, and in other ways it's just totally not working at all. And honestly, I'm gonna pull up the track list now and just basically give you my opinions on what songs I feel should have been left on the cutting room floor, and what I think could have been left on this album to make it like a more, not cohesive, but just a little bit better, in my opinion. Because I think the biggest problem with the album is just how long it is. Now, the first 11 songs, I think, those all work fine. And again, this doesn't say these are all great songs. I just think they, one after the other, they kind of work well together. You know, you kind of get the mix between rap and pop music, and it blends together well enough. I'll go into more detail later. Good Man with Pusha T and Jadakiss. I guess Billy Ocean maybe with Fat Joe and Raekwon. I didn't mind that Unchanging Love with Movado. And I guess you can keep that like 15-second outro with Assad, his 8-month-old son, who executively produced this album, by the way. An executive producer on this. And then pretty much everything else, it just does not feel like it really belongs here. It's just songs like Pull a Caper. I gotta look at track list. There's 23 tracks on this. Again, 87 minutes long. So excessive. Pull a Caper. That Range Rover Came with Steps. Iced Out My Arms. Whatever. Like, all those songs don't feel like they need to be here. Major Bag Alert. Down for Life. And the thing about these songs, they wouldn't be so bad if so many of them weren't long. Like Down for Life, like I just said, with Party Next Door, Future, a bunch of other people. It's 5 minutes long. Same with Major Bag Alert with Migos. It's 5 minutes long. It's these really long bangers, and I just feel like they just take up so much time, and I get so bored listening to them. Ooh. It's tough. It's tough. And, I mean, there's not a lot lyrically going on this album. I can appreciate there's a loose theme of what everyone's grateful for, I guess. And to be honest, most people are just kind of bragging about their success. But then you have sweet moments like the song I Love You So Much with Chance the Rapper. And while Chance the Rapper's portions are a little underwritten, he's still really catchy and the production's really great. I gotta say, DJ Khaled's production all over this album is actually not bad. I think all the tracks that were actually produced by him are the better tracks on this. Like I Love You So Much, and he gives these speeches about how he loves his son and he's so blessed and he's the biggest blessing, and I mean, it's so goofy, but for DJ Khaled, I think it works. And even if I don't love all the singles, I'm the One, for example, I like Chance the Rapper's verse, but again, it's just really silly. Even Quavo's verse isn't that bad. Lil Wayne's verse totally throws stuff off. But that song sounds outdated. I listened to that song, it already sounds like a song that, like, you just have, like, nostalgia for. Like, oh man, that, like, totally doesn't hold up anymore. But I remember that being good, except it's, like, 2 months old. So it really shouldn't feel that outdated. And Shining, I was so disappointed with that song with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Neither of them really have anything interesting to say, especially Jay-Z. His verse is so unmemorable to me, and Beyonce, coming off of Lemonade, I expected greater things. To the Max, I think that's fun with Drake. It's kind of fun. Not something I'd really go back to listen to all that much, but it's better than For Free off of DJ Khaled's last album. And I really like the song Wild Thoughts with Rihanna and Bryson Tiller. And I'm not even a big Bryson Tiller fan, or a Rihanna fan actually, but I really like the way they sample Maria Maria by Santana. Even though it kind of makes me just want to listen to that song again, I think it just works and creates a really good vibe for this song. Nobody with Alicia Keys and Nicki Minaj, that's another one that's got kind of this grand production. I think that's what DJ Khaled, when he gets like big production, he makes it work. And it works for his over-the-top nature, this kind of over-the-top production. The song On Everything, with Travis Scott kind of doing the hook. Rick Ross has a solid verse on here, but Big Sean comes in and he tries to throw shots at Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick Lamar obviously kind of started some beef with him and threw some shots with him on his last album. And it's cute that Big Sean thinks he can really go at Kendrick. He tries, but Big Sean is so not even on the same level as Kendrick Lamar. I'm just surprised that he even bothered, and he just seems so confident in himself. Like, yeah, I really told him, and it just does not work at all. No. And it's secured. I like hearing Nas on that. Travis Scott does what Travis Scott does. He's totally fine on that, but Nas delivers a couple of pretty solid verses, except he kind of brings up again that last summer he was like, oh, my album's done. And the song was literally called Nas Album Done. And now he's said, the album's done, but I had to do one more thing. And I'm not sure if he's implying that this verse took him an entire year to work on. And if the album's done, I don't know why he couldn't work on this verse and also do the album. No, that's really making sense to me. Maybe I just really want a new Nas album. I don't know. Don't Quit with Travis Scott and Jeremiah, which was co-produced with Calvin Harris, is another really great summer song. I think Calvin Harris, who I previously have never really been a big fan of, he's just one after the other. I've been really enjoying the singles from his last album, and this song sounds like it could fit on that upcoming album. It has this really nice bouncy beat in the background. It sounds a lot more fun than whatever Calvin Harris had been doing up until now. Just Calvin Harris, keep being good now. Yeah, I never would expect to be excited about Calvin Harris music. And then, like I said after that, the songs kind of go downhill after those first 11. Down for Life, Too Long. On Major Bag Alert, Offset has this really gross verse where he says, she disrespectful so I nut in her chin. It's like stuff like that I'm just like, oh, ooh, that's just... I wouldn't even be bragging about that. That's just so excessively gross. And it just totally is like, you just remember that like a couple songs earlier, DJ Khaled was like talking about how much he loves the sun with Chance the Rapper, and now we're kind of onto these just generic trap bangers, and he doesn't even produce a lot of these songs. Look, I understand the marketing strategy. I know that, especially in hip-hop, they put a lot of songs on the albums, and that means it gets a lot of streaming, which means the album sales look a lot better, and I'm sure this will probably end up being the #1 album. That makes sense, and it's whatever. But when it's at this excessive level where you got 87 minutes of just redundant content, it just really weighs down the quality of the album, and it just makes me feel like DJ Khaled really didn't want this album to be a cohesive piece anyway, and then it just kind of makes me feel, why am I even bothering reviewing this? Which is not a feeling I feel like I should be getting from this album. So, to put it shortly, this album is all over the place. Some songs are good and catchy and fun pop songs. Some songs are just not good. I wish it was a little more concise. I wish that DJ Khaled had kind of stuck to this grateful theme and kind of gone off of that a little more. And whenever he's on this album, and not just in like the ad-libs, or, just saying, "We the best music," but when you actually feel his presence on the album and his personality, I feel like that's when this album is its best. And that just, I feel like, does not happen enough. So, I gotta give this album a strong C. I was really underwhelmed. Nothing in this album. There was no, like, Holy Key on this album, a song that was just a total amazing banger that stood out like a diamond in the rough on this album. It was just a lot of the same for way too long. So let me know, have you listened to Grateful? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you fall somewhere in the middle like me? Do you agree or disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. How do you feel about Grateful? And bless up. Thank you so much for watching.